Not so long ago, we had 4 Yokozuna Grand Champions competing. Now we only have 2. And of that 2, one of them, Takanohana, is resting out this basho. Musashi Maru is left alone to uphold the honor of the Yokozuna rank, and not doing a very good job of it, having already lost 4 times. It's, however, not so unusual to have just one active Yokozuna. There have been 39 basho in the past, with only one competing, and not so long ago the great Chiyonafuji fought alone for 17 basho. There have even been basho with no Yokozuna competing at all. This included 10 basho when no Yokozuna existed, none had been promoted to that rank, and 25 basho where they did exist but were sitting out because of injuries. So over the long years of sumo's existence, all the eventualities have been covered, and the Japanese tend to take a long-term view of it. They like to have Yokozuna in there fighting, but if they don't, well, one will eventually emerge. So let's go to our first bout. This is between Takatoriki on the right there in the blue mawashi, who, typical style, slapped and pushed Higonoumi out. He previously fought 21 times. Takatoriki had won 15 of them, and now 16 times. The wrestlers prepare in their respective corners of the ring, the east corner and the west corner. Chuck the salt in, then they come out for the final crouch down, the shikiri. Chiyotenzan on the left there. He's a stablemate of Chiyo Taikai, who pulled out yesterday because of a bad injury. So both wrestlers there, not looking for the belt, slapping hard. Oshi sumo, that's pushing sumo. And there, no belt holds taken, it's just pushing all the way. There's a thrust to the throat there, head in, under the neck, slap on the shoulder, an arm deep round the back, and eventually it's Chiyotenzan who keels over. A solid thrust from Otsukasa there sent him reeling, and down he went with oshitaoshi, or push down. A very lively bout there, that one between those two. Now on to Kyokutenho against Wakanoyama. Wakanoyama, the hairy one here, 160 kilos, looks heavier, but in fact not so heavy. Kyokutenho at 145 kilos. Kyokutenho with 6 wins, Wakanoyama with 5 wins. They've had 8 head-to-heads previously. Kyokutenho has won 7 of them. That's another one for him, so Wakanoyama nearly always on the losing end of bouts against Mongolian Kyokutenho. Kyokutenho there waiting a bit for prize money, which didn't materialize. And now on to our next bout. Of course, the action in sumo is usually over very quickly. Bouts rarely go beyond 10 seconds. Sometimes they go much longer. We've even had bouts that have gone up as high as 8 or 9 minutes, but that's very unusual. The posturing beforehand is long. Well, that was a neat move there. Aminishiki, who comes from a sumo family, clipped his leg round the back of Hayateumi's leg there, and down he went with yoritaoshi. So that's the first time those two had fought each other, and the first win for Aminishiki from the Ajigawa stable, one of the smaller stables of the 54 stables that exist in pro sumo. Kotoryu now against Akinoshima. They've had 7 head-to-heads. Akinoshima's won 6 of them. So almost sidestepped there. Kotoryu came out, almost slid past Akinoshima. Akinoshima keeps the pressure on head, pushing into his chest. So another win there, for a 6th win for Akinoshima. Some of these wrestlers always do badly, always do well, whichever way you look at it, against other wrestlers. Akinoshima always lost a lot to Kotonishiki before he retired. And he always loses a lot against Kaiho. He once said that if it wasn't for those two, he might well have been an Ozeki or a Yokozuna. On to our next bout now, it's Tamakasuga against Toki. Taking the orange mawashi there. Not so long ago, he was in the Juryo division, having been a bad boy. It's called driving a car, which wrestlers are not meant to do. Well, that was very neatly done there. Tamakasuga was thrusting in hard to Toki's body, and you saw him there, he just relaxed the opposition to that. Tamakasuga missed and then went flying. That's 8 losses now for Tamakasuga and Maki Koshi. Maigashira 3, he'll slide down a bit, but he's safe enough. And that was the 5th win for Toki. Inside of the big Kokugikan Stadium. It's about 12,000 people. Here's Kotomitsuki. Got 8 wins. He's in the lead. He's only got 1 loss. Here fighting Daizen, 36-year-old, oldest wrestler. KG wrestler, been around quite a bit. First came into Makuuchi Sumo 10 years ago in 1991. Previous basho he did well. He had 8 wins and 7 losses. Kotomitsuki, on the other hand, only had 6 wins the previous basho. But these two have never fought each other. Kotomitsuki outside the ring wears spectacles, which gives him the air of an intellectual. Daizen across the ring there a bit harder, almost pulls Kotomitsuki down. Kotomitsuki closes in on him, not allowing him any rest there, and eventually shoves him out. Quite interesting how tight these rikishi stay to their opponents, snapping and pushing all the time, moving forward into the other wrestler. Even if their hands are not working, their body's shoving them backwards. So Kotomitsuki there shoves Daizen out, virtually from the rear, not quite, with okuridashi. And a little bit of prize money for him, Kensho, at the end. Let's watch that one again. He's almost sidestepped there. Daizen almost manages to get his hand round on the back of his neck, but then Kotomitsuki twists, fronts onto Daizen, and then starts to get round behind, and there's that push from behind, okuridashi, that long thrust with his arms. Skidashi, it's a thrust away. And that's the man who's looks as though he could win this tournament, but there's a few days yet to go. Many things could happen. There's another man who's doing very well. He's got 2 losses. He's just a step behind Kotomitsuki. He's got 7 wins and 2 losses. Here fighting Tosanoumi. These two have fought 3 times previously. Tosanoumi's got the advantage, has won 2 of them. Very much bigger, some 30 kilos heavier than Asashoryu. Asashoryu there, sidestepped. Well, that was very neatly done. Came out a little bit too hard and fast, and Tosanoumi just moved out the way slightly. There it is. You can see the move to the side, then the hand on the shoulder. And Asashoryu loses his footing and puts his hands to the ground. Very neatly done. 3rd loss for Asashoryu. If he's not careful, he'll move out of the leading pack with a chance of taking the Emperor's Cup at the end. Tokitsuumi. And in his last basho, he got 11 wins, and he got the technique prize, the Gino Sho. Fighting Wakanosato, who is only beaten once and lost to 3 times. So, slowish start there, but both wrestlers just leaning into each other. Tokitsuumi with the belt. And there's an attempt at an underarm throw, and that's followed up with an uwatenage, an overarm throw. Well, the referee's given it to Tokitsuumi, but there's an objection to that. This is one of the judges. Well, there you see the action, but did one of those wrestlers step out? That's always the... Well, he says the referee got it wrong. In fact, it was Wakanosato who won that one. The foot, indeed, Tokitsuumi's foot did go out the head, so Wakanosato takes his 5th win. So that's a black mark against the Gyoji, the referee. Let's just watch the footwork. Referees spend a lot of their time just watching 4 feet. Of course, if a hand touches down as well, that's a loss, but it's the feet. Well, it was not at all clear there, but however, there are 5 judges and 1 referee watching the bout, and an instant video replay. Now, Tamanoshima, 4 wins, 5 losses. Previous basho, he had 12 wins. That moved him up to Komusubi rank, where he is now. If he's not careful, he'll drop down from that. Kotonowaka, with only 3 wins on the left there, banged his head earlier on in a bout, got thrown onto his face. Well, that's another loss there for Tamanoshima. 6 losses for the new Komusubi. And 4th much-needed win for Kotonowaka. He's a heavy wrestler, 178 kilos. He pays special attention to wrestlers that weigh over 170 kilos. Check that they're not getting too fat. However, with the departure of some of the big South Sea wrestlers, the Hawaiians, it's not too much pressure now on these Japanese wrestlers to put on a lot of weight. Now here we have Tochiazuma versus Kaiho. Kaiho's doing well on the right there, he's got 6 wins. But Tochiazuma, I think, too canny for him. Tochiazuma some 20 kilos heavier than Kaiho, but these are 2 very skillful wrestlers. And Tochiazuma read Kaiho's charge absolutely beautifully. Kaiho came out a bit low. Tochiazuma got his hand and pulled Kaiho down. Hataki komi win there by Tochiazuma. 7th win for him. And the 4th loss for Kaiho. And Dejima, who's not been doing at all well. He's had 5 losses so far. His injuries are troubling, and he had a period before when he was 6 months out due to an injury. Here against Takanowaka, they've had 5 head-to-heads. Dejima's won 3 of them. Well, an early start by Takanowaka, but you can hear the ref going, "Mada, mada, mada, not yet, not yet," he's saying. You both got to start together. Put your hands down, he's saying, and then that was an even start. Dejima coming out hard and fast. Well, it looked like he was starting well. It was like the old Dejima, but Takanowaka just absorbed those bouncy thrusts and just pulled him down. Hikiotoshi win for Takanowaka. Well, for a second it looked like Dejima had him on the run there, but it was not to be. The losing wrestler always departs because the oncoming wrestler doesn't want assistance from a loser. So this is Fusen Sho. This was Tochino Nada wins. Miyabiyama has dropped out. He injured himself against Kaiho here. This was the bout yesterday. You see that leg collapse there. So a very bad leg injury there for Miyabiyama. However, Tochino Nada today gets the victory. It's his 5th win. And Miyabiyama's out, which almost certainly means he'll drop down from Ozeki rank and down to Sekiwaki. Now Kyokushuzan versus Musoyama. Musoyama took him 6 years to get to Ozeki rank. He alone of the Ozekis in this basho is upholding the honor and dignity of the Ozeki. He's got 6 wins, 3 losses. Which is not too brilliant, but it's a darn sight better than what the other Ozeki have done. So an uncertain start there by Musoyama. Kyokushuzan also hesitant. Musoyama normally charges out pretty fast, but he didn't there, and Kyokushuzan maybe found it unexpected. Now Takanonami fights Musashi Maru. This is an interesting bout. These 2 have fought each other 51 times previously. This makes it 52, and that's a record in the sumo books statistics. It rivals the head-to-heads of Kitanofuji and Kiyonokuni, who also fought 51 times. Now the only thing is that Takanonami is on the way down, and he'll almost certainly drop even lower down, which means he won't fight Musashi Maru next basho, so his chance of getting into the record books, the greatest number of head-to-heads with a single wrestler, looks like it's fading rapidly. Well, that was a soft bout there. Musashi Maru wins that one quite easily. Takanonami's ankle and his right leg were giving him some problems there, and he went down to Sukuinagi from Musashi Maru's push. A bit of a soft bout there. So at the end of day 10, it's Kotomitsuki in the lead with 9 wins and 1 loss, and behind 4 wrestlers with 8 wins and 2 losses, and they are Musoyama, Tochiazuma, Asashoryu and Kyokutenho. Stay with us, we'll be back very shortly with day 11.